Hey everybody, my name is Miles Levin, and I'm the writer and director of the movie you're about to watch, which is called Under the Lights. And this movie really took me on quite the adventure in becoming more a part of my own community, which is the epilepsy community. I was diagnosed at a very young age with epilepsy, and I had an experience that is not unlike many people living with epilepsy, which is to say that I felt very trapped in that ambiguous void that is not really feeling like a child anymore, not really feeling like an adult, and watching the world kind of move on without me. I felt as though there were just a lot of experiences that I was never going to have. And I felt like epilepsy stole something from me. I felt as though I had lost a lot to my epilepsy. And when I was given the opportunity to start being more a part of my community, I refused the call to adventure, which is to say, I was asked if I wanted to go to epilepsy camp. And I said, no, absolutely not. I don't want to spend any more time thinking about the stuff that brings me down. I was doing a pretty good job of trying to be more than my epilepsy, but I went and I learned something really important, which is I started to hear the stories of the people around me. I started to learn that despite how common epilepsy is, the stigma is brutal. I also started to notice a problem as I attended galas and awareness events, which is that there was this cry, this outcry for the end of stigma, but no real plan to get it done. I started to notice that every time we talk about epilepsy stigma, every time we talk about epilepsy awareness, we're talking to rooms of people who already know the school bully, the employer who's ready to turn us away. They're never going to buy a ticket to these events. And as long as that's the case, we're always going to have epilepsy stigma. And as long as we have epilepsy stigma, I think we will continue to have the reality that we are not facing the whole picture. And something that I like to say is that epilepsy is more than seizures. Seizures are the punctuation in the epilepsy story. It's the time lived between seizures that is the epilepsy experience. And in a world in which the suicide rate for people living with epilepsy is astronomical compared to the national average, I think that it's time that we face the reality that we can't wait until the cure for that to be taken care of. And while most people have no say in the research and the fight for the last seizure, everyone has a say in the fight against epilepsy stigma. So I'm a filmmaker. And although I had been encouraged to make a movie about my experience living with epilepsy, I refused that call to adventure as well. And after going to camp and hearing the horror stories, I said, wait a second. All these kids, they can't talk about it, but I can talk about it. So I'm going to be a little brave and I'm going to write that movie that I don't want to write. And that is the movie you're going to see. It's Under the Lights. It's about a boy with epilepsy who's so desperate to feel like a regular kid, he goes to prom knowing the lights will make him have a seizure. I wanted to tell a universal story that the general public would watch. I acknowledged that although we're never going to get the general public to show up to our fundraisers, we sure can get people to show up to movies. We need a way to get the message out to people where it's their idea, where they actually want to show up, where they want to buy a ticket and they don't have to be asked. And that's what movies do well. Now, if you enjoy this movie, know that I made the full length movie, the Hollywood movie, the big stars, Golden Globe winning actors in the full length Under the Lights movie. So if you love this, and you can go watch it on YouTube later, go to underthelightsfilm.com, put in your email, and we're if this movie can really take off, it'll be the biggest moment for epilepsy awareness of all time, but only if we talk about it. So please enjoy the movie. Go to underthelightsfilm.com after, and I will be virtually joining you for questions and answers afterward. So thank you so much and enjoy the flick.